Are you freaking out because you're about to buy a house here in Northern Virginia, spend anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million plus on a home, but you're not really sure what to expect? Well, you've come to the right place because today I want to paint for you a clear picture of that home buying process. So by the time you're done watching this video, you know exactly what to expect moving forward, and you'll be prepared for whatever happens because, let's be honest, if this is your first home purchase, it's probably the biggest purchase that you've ever made in your life. My name is Paul Kim. I am your local Nova real estate agent, and today I'm going to do whatever I can to help you become a knowledgeable and savvy home buyer in just a few minutes. First, you have to decide if home buying is even right for you given your specific circumstances. Now, I know most of you have probably already thought about it, but just in case you haven't, if you're not going to be somewhere for a long period of time, it may actually be better to rent than to buy. I know you're not building up assets, and I know you're wasting money on rent, but in the long run, it still might make more sense. Now, once you've made the final decision that home buying is right for you at this time, the next question is going to be, how much house can you actually afford? Now, what you're going to want to do at this point is connect with a mortgage lender. You may know some personally, you may not. Most people generally do not have mortgage lenders if they've never bought a home before. So be sure to connect with the realtor that you trust and like, and they'll be able to connect you with multiple mortgage lenders. Now, I advise that you do talk to different mortgage lenders because everyone's going to be a little bit different. And it's like shopping for anything, right? You don't want just the first shiny object that pops in your face. You want to talk to people, get to know them. The big question is, can you trust them, and will they do a good job to take care of you? Now, what to expect when you talk to these mortgage lenders, they're going to ask you a lot of questions about your finances, including your debt, your income. They're probably going to run a credit check and do all these different things because they want to make sure at the end of the day that you are qualified for them to lend you money so that you can buy a home. And once you have an idea of how much house you can afford based on the mortgage loan that you're able to get and qualify for, at that point, you're going to decide how much of that do you actually want to spend. Just because you qualify to borrow $5 million doesn't necessarily mean you want to spend all that on a home. And when you talk to the mortgage lender, you want to make sure you ask about different loan types. It could be anything from a 30-year conventional to a 15 to a 10-year conventional to a 10-year or a 5-year ARM. There's a lot of different types of loans. And if I confused you right now, it's okay. Talk to your mortgage lender about what exactly those things mean. The specific loan type that fits your situation the best may not be the 30-year conventional loan that everybody's always talking about. The next step, you may have already done this before even the mortgage side, is find a realtor that you want to work with. Now, there are thousands and thousands and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of realtors wherever you are. Now, the question is going to become, which one do you want to work with? You got to ask yourself, are they competent? Do they have experience, or are they surrounded by team members who have experienced a lot of different things? Are they good people? Are they ethical? Are they going to show up on time to meetings? Are they going to work hard and advocate on your behalf? These are all questions that you probably should be asking, even though I know some of those characteristics should be common sense. Common sense ain't so common anymore. You know as well as I do. So you want to make sure you find somebody that you like and trust and who's going to represent you adequately, because at the end of the day, what a realtor is when you're buying a home is someone that advises you and advocates on your behalf to find the home that you love for the best price and the terms that they could possibly get for you. Remember, they're representing you. They're not your decision maker, but they should have the expertise and the backing to be able to support you in the best way possible. If you're not sure where to start, talk to me. At this point, you're going to talk to your realtor about what specific homes you are looking for. We already talked about the budget and how much home you can afford, but now you're going to talk about bedrooms, location, backyard size, lot size, the age of the home, school district, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And you're going to begin to filter out the homes that will fit your criteria. Now, I would recommend looking at least 5 houses within the criteria that you're looking for, so you have an idea of what the market looks like, the pricing, and really how the specific home that you like compares to the others in the market. That way, when you find a home that you like and you're ready to make an offer, which is the next step, you know exactly how much you need to offer and what terms you want to offer as well. Now, once you're ready to sit down and make an offer because you have found the house that you love, you're going to get together with your realtor and draft up an offer to the seller of that home. Now, obviously, it's going to include the price that you're offering, but it's also going to include the conditions of which you are willing to buy. And I don't want to go too much into detail, but that's going to be all into the offer as well. You're going to have your earnest money deposit, which is basically a security deposit that shows the seller that, hey, I'm serious about buying this home. If something goes wrong because of my mistake or I decide to back out, then my security deposit is gone. Now, don't let that scare you. It's just part of the process, but it is important to know that's going to be coming out of your pocket. So be ready with that as well. And the last thing you're going to want to include, especially nowadays, is a pre-approval letter from your lender. Now, what that is it's ultimately a letter that we talked about from before when you talk to your lender that says, hey, such and such is qualified from us to purchase this price point of a house. We've gone through their records, we've gone through their credit, we've done their income check, etc., 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 and they're qualified. I'm going to finance them, they're ready to buy. And you submit that offer. Now, once the listing agent receives that offer, there's going to be some back and forth, there's going to be some negotiating. They may or may not like the conditions and terms of your offer, they may not like the price, or they may love it and it goes super smoothly. Whatever's going to happen is going to be different on each individual situation, but I would expect a little bit of back and forth because they're trying to get as much money as possible, and obviously you're trying to spend as little as possible. It's just the way the game works. Now, after the seller and you, the buyer, have landed on terms and conditions that you both agree on, again, including the price, at that point, everybody signs and it's considered a ratified contract. That means that now you and the seller are one step closer to finalizing this transaction. And now you're ready to move forward with the next steps that's going to take you one step closer to being the home owner. Now, during these steps, it's probably going to take at least 30 days. There's a couple things that's going to happen. One is you are going to get a home inspection on the home because you don't want any surprises. The inspector is going to come out, they're going to go through the home, they're going to look at every single thing that could possibly be wrong with the house and write you a 100,000 page, okay, not 100,000 page, but there have been inspection reports over 100 pages of things that are wrong with the house. Now, you gotta remember, it's their job to find every single thing wrong with the house because they don't want that liability. Once that report comes out, it's going to be your realtor that goes through that list of things that are wrong and tell you what's actually wrong versus what's just a little bit of wear and tear, things that could easily be fixed, and kind of categorized so that you don't have to worry about different things. During this period, you're also going to get an appraisal on your home. Now, the appraiser is going to come out and they're going to say your home in the future, if this all goes through, is going to be worth such and such money. The reason why this is important is because they want to make sure that the amount of money they're lending you is appropriate to the value of the house. It's part of the process if you try to get a loan. These 30 days is also when the mortgage lender is going to do the underwriting and really just go through the final process for getting you that mortgage loan. Now, when the mortgage lender asks for something, you're going to want to reply as soon as possible because usually this is the longest part of this process. And if there is ever a delay, it's probably going to be because the mortgage and the approval process, underwriting included, is taking too long. Get that done as quick as you can. If they're asking you for W-2s, if they're asking you for whatever documentation for your income and debt, just get on it and reply as soon as you can. And you're closer to getting those keys, you're definitely going to want to get homeowners insurance because, well, they're going to require it. And you're also going to schedule the transfer of the utilities from whoever owned the house or lived there prior into your name because you don't want a gap in electricity if this is your primary residence. Now, on the day of settlement, or maybe even a few days before, you and your realtor are going to go through a final walkthrough. And the reason why you do this is because you want to make sure that the property is still in that same condition it was when you first made that offer. It's a 30-day process to go from contract ratification to finally being settled and you having your keys. Chances are things haven't changed that much during those 30 days, but who knows? 30 days is still a long time. And on top of that, if during the inspection you found some things that needed to be fixed and was negotiated, again, we won't talk about that too much right now. You want to make sure all that's been done as well before you finally sign the papers to finalize the transfer of ownership to you. Now, finally, you can go to settlement. You're going to sign the papers, lots and lots of papers, because there's so much legal stuff that goes into transferring the ownership of a home to you. But once that's done, you'll get the keys, and hopefully you'll be very, very happy homeowners. Now, this is a very bird's eye view of buying a home, but for someone who's never done it before, hopefully it paints a clear picture of the basic steps that you're going to encounter going through. But if you have any questions, or you want to learn more, or if you are a first-time home buyer and you're trying to find a good realtor for you, feel free to reach out anytime. Give me a call, text, or email. You can just write a comment down below, whatever you want. And my team and I will do the best to serve you the best that we can. Thanks for tuning in.